meander about it or anything. Ready?
I'd like to meander a bit, though.
No meandering. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another video. It is my great pleasure to introduce you to someone who we haven't seen. We haven't seen this series for about 3 years. How does that make you feel? Boots.
Oh my god, that's a long time.
It's been like 3 years, hasn't it? Because, I mean, EOD was 4 years?
It's been a while. Oh, yeah, Elites. Yeah. So for this specifically, have I not been on the channel besides this, though?
No, you have been on the channel. We've done stuff. We kind of... I probably shouldn't talk about this in the intro, but we haven't done Balance with Boots for ages.
That was
true. The other mainstay. Anyway, yeah, hello, everybody. If you're out of the loop, back when Elite Specializations were regular things, Boots and I used to host a series called Elite Speculation when we talked about what we thought was coming up, what would be cool ideas. We basically designed our own specs. That's not quite what this video is going to be here today. But so the new X-Spec's coming out, Visions of Eternity. And we're going to talk about what we think's happening, right?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Elite Specs coming back. I know they're not coming back in the exact same form that they did previously, because we're not getting
no
weapons.
Yeah.
Which means that they do have to, like, I know that in recent recent Elite Specs, they kind of over-designed the weapons, and which like a lot of the flavor of the spec was in the weapons, so they're gonna have to reconfigure and put the flavor of the spec back into the utility skills, and just the mechanics change.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about spears, did we? How did you? I thought spears were they had a lot of layers to their design. I thought spears went really well last year.
Yeah, I think they were pretty cool. They had a lot of layers, and I think because they had so many layers, I haven't been able to fully delve into them yet.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But that gives me a lot of confidence that this year's Elite Specializations are also going to be high quality. I really do have that confidence. I think they'll be good.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to pair the new Elite specs with the spears, with the Secrets of the Obscure weapons, if you like. Stuff that, because not everyone's played everything, and it should feel pretty fresh. And at least one of these specializations we'll be talking about here today definitely pairs very well with the spear. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So Boots, what we can see here on screen right now, there's been a little bit of news, guys, since the last I talked about on the channel. There was this tweet, or this is a Blue Sky post, technically, from Guild Wars 2. They said, did you call it the Mesmer, also known as the specialization known as the Troubadour, the Elementalist, whose specialization is the Evoker, and the Thief, known as the Antiquary? These Elite specs were revealed in the announcement trailer for Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity. Starting next week, we're going to dive into these 3 specs weekly, starting on Wednesdays with the post, and then live streams on Fridays. So I think they did something similar for that on the EOD. So yeah, the trailer featured footage from these guys. If you saw my trailer analysis on the last video, you'll know what I had to say about that. If not, you can go check that out.
I would say that we did call it. I think when the icons first came out, these were the 3 classes, the professions that I thought they would be aligned with. I did not call the names, though.
yeah, the names. What do you think? All right, look, I've read a good amount online. I'm going to be a downer immediately. I don't really like the names that much. Most people I speak to love the names. Fair enough.
Yeah,
what about you?
I'm wondering if there's a reason why they couldn't call it Bard instead of Troubadour.
Or Minstrel. Well, okay, so look, so basically we're going to go over...
Minstrel goes too close to the fake post that was a while ago, right?
No, but that might be a good thing as well.
I don't think so. I think...
Do you know what? I googled the word Troubadour to look for the specific definition, like the specific cultural influence, which, by the way, is like South France. And it's funny, when I Google... I mean, you guys might like to do this as well. On the little Google AI overview thing, it gave me a picture, and the picture is exactly the pose of the old minstrel thing from the April Fool's joke all that time.
Amazing.
Ago. So I guess Troubadour is a good name anyway. But here, look, Boots, what we'll do... Okay, so we're going to go through all the icons in this video, guys.
Yeah.
And we're going to speculate about what we can speculate about and talk about what we can talk about. Because these 3, there's a bit more information, and then there's less as we go along. So let's just jump in, right? Class number 1, or rather icon number 1 that I want to talk to you about here, Boots, is this, okay? So this is the Troubadour, right? As they've revealed, this is the Mesmer. Do you have any immediate thoughts about what it might play like?
Well, that's an interesting use of words, because I think, well, obviously in the trailer we saw that the Troubadour was playing multiple instruments, right?
Yes, we did. We saw a flute at one point.
Yeah.
And then, is this a lute, by the way? What is this instrument? Is it a lute?
That is a lute, yeah.
Okay,
and I think a lyre is kind of like that, but a little bit more fancy.
I don't know this.
But yeah, so I think that so I think if it's a troubadour supposed to be like a bard, bards are, you know, inspiring. They play songs for their party members and give them buffs, basically. I don't know if they called it a troubadour because they're not trying to make it like a bard, but I think it's probably going to be similar. I guess what I hope it could do is, I don't know if they're going to turn the shatters into individual musical instruments, and then that'll give buffs to your party or whatever. But I was thinking, what if you like press F1 and it turns into your flute shatter, and you have to like the musical instruments in the game, you have to play a certain number of...
that would be insane.
I know, you have to play certain things in order. And if you do it correctly, it's like extra powerful, but if you do it incorrectly, you still get stuff.
Well, interesting. I mean, maybe they could go that far with it, possibly. To me, I was thinking, so it's interesting you just mentioned the F skills. I think a lot of people are guessing kits for this. I think because, you know, they got the utility skills to figure out.
They just
as
improved
well.
the kits on the engineer on the last balance patch, I think.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Well, they changed them. They updated the kits.
Okay. So, I mean, the kit thing is one thing, but you just mentioned something that I think I haven't seen so much conversation about. But that's clones and phantasms, like how that stuff actually works with this class.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what the mechanic might be, but something occurred to me that it might be cool if when you're a troubadour, music is played via like the summoning and shattering of things. Like maybe a certain phantasm makes a certain musical like sound as it's summoned, and then a different one as it dies, or as you shatter things, they make different sounds. So it's just kind of got that musical like vibe to it as you're doing your thing. I don't really know how that maps onto gameplay, but
Mesmer's always kind of had that in that. Doesn't the shatter sound from Mesmer? It's like the Guild Wars 2 theme played backwards.
Is it? Oh no, that's the portal sound. I think that's
the portal sound
of being
yeah,
near a
okay,
portal,
never
isn't
mind.
it?
Yeah,
but anyway, you're right. I mean, they have different sound effects, so but maybe just leaning into that a little bit. So like, you know, as musical notes as they spawn or as they die, something along those lines. You just mentioned something that I hadn't even been thinking about, and that's its role. And so in Secrets of the Obscure, we got the rifle, right, which was like their supporty weapon.
Yeah.
But do you think that like a heal supporty thing? Do you think that this is going to be a heal supporty elite spec to pair with it?
Possibly. I know that Chronomancer is, as far as I understood, I'm a little bit out of date with things, but I think Chronomancer is a very strong support build for Mesmer right now.
Yeah. There's obviously flexibility with the existing elite specs,
yeah,
but
I think it's not the best at healing itself. Is that true?
I think it can heal a bit, but, you know, it'll be outperformed by more raw healing, you know, like some, you know, like Druid or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe if it's like a more heal-centric...
but it comes down to the main... Rifle changed things a bit. But yeah, maybe that's the thing. Maybe you got half the package. What I'm trying to say is maybe you got half the package in Secrets of the Obscure, and then maybe you get a little bit more of the package now and something really worthwhile to pair it with on this one.
Maybe. What if you summon your phantasms and then buff them with your instruments?
Oh, that's very cool. Oh my god, that's really good. I mean, in a way you could ostensibly do that already. No, I think that's very, very cool. Like, very dedicated phantasm or clone. But the thing is, they're all impermanent.
Yeah.
I might going in that direction is kind of cool, though. I do like that. Okay, there's one more thing I want to ask you about with this before we move on to the next one. And that is, so Arenanet had a comment in a recent post where they basically said, you know, people were wondering, are all these elite specs going to be based on the new area of the world? Is the theme really tightly with that? And Arenanet basically said, they basically said, look, this new Tyrian alliance, you know, the Tyrian UN or whatever that we have in the story now, there are different faces and people from all cultures all over the world, and just different representatives of them will like embody the elite spec. So it's through the Tyrian alliance we learn about these elite specs. So they could basically be any NPC. If there's going to be an NPC associated with these classes, they could be from anywhere or anything. Just, they're a party to the Tyrian UN. So what character, I'm going to ask you each time, what character you think might be associated with each spec. So what might be... Farron? Well, maybe. I don't know. I mean, isn't he a badass jungle warrior man since Heartthorns? My guess for this guy, and look, to the people watching the video, drop your ideas down in the comments. Obviously, there is the in-game minstrel, right? I don't really know how to say his name. I think it's Marcello Diacomo. Marcello Diacomo, I think that's how you say his name. The guy that hung around with Ho-Ho-Tron and Hobotron. He's the in-game minstrel, right? So maybe he's the Troubadour. And,
maybe we learn from him. Maybe we actually, that's a good question. Are we, because I know in previous expansions when we got some new elite specs, they started to try to teach you about the elite spec, quote unquote, by getting you to talk to an NPC and you learn a little bit about it. Are they going to go a little bit further with it in this new expansion? Are they going to try to really story connect the elite specs to...
I doubt it. I get the impression that Mini expects a budget thin and they're trying their best to get everything in. I think they'll hit the bar of POF. I don't think that they'll have time for massive expansions like that. Fair enough. Who knows? Maybe. All right, let's go to the next one here. So basically, I'm going to take us through the easy teasers first, okay? And then we'll do the harder ones. So this is the next one. This is Thief, and it's called the Antiquary. Yeah. And this is actually confirmed. So
which is, if you look it up on Google, is someone who collects artifacts. So when you see this and you see sort of if it's a thief, you think Indiana Jones right away, right?
Yeah, I guess. And in the trailer, it had that animation with the bags of coins, the fedora. And everything. Oh, right. Was he wearing a fedora?
Well, he was wearing kind of an adventure hat, which is kind of like an Indiana Jones hat.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't have called... Antiquary's an okay name, but I really prefer Bounty Hunter or,
Yeah, Scoundrel.
I don't know. I mean, Antiquary's pretty cool.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider maybe. I mean, so this was... one of the easier guesses, I think.
Maybe they wanted to be Tomb Raider, but they can't... They literally cannot use... that as
the other thing is if they're using cards, gambler almost feels a bit like a thing.
It does, yeah.
But I think I read, and some old Final Fantasies had gambler as a name and stuff. But I think I read that that's a no name. You can't really call something. You get sort of into legal trouble.
I guess not. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Card sharp. What's another word for a card sharp? There's
I don't know, but the idea of a gambler would have not just the cards, but the dice and everything as well, right? You would think. I just want to take a quick minute here. Going back to the previous one, I noticed when this first came out, so Mesmer, when we were still guessing what class was what, Mesmer already has vibes of the Troubadour baked into it today in the game as it is right now. In fact, since 2013 it's had it. Because first of all, the inspiration line. But second of all, if you actually go in game and you train the glamour line, you'll notice the art, and I'll put a screenshot on the video here for you guys. It's the same concept art. It's bardy, minstrelly concept art for glamours. If you remember one of the last times I talked about elite specs on the channel, maybe a year ago, slightly over, I said that if they were going to do more elite specs, they should take core lines and enhance them. Sort of like how Necromancer has soul reaping. And then we got the Reaper, and it works, it's kind of the same theme they're doubling up on, but it worked really well. And I liked that concept for, a whole slew of the current professions. I gave you names and ideas for all of them, the Elementalist getting an Arcanist, and they have the Arcane core line. Anyway, they kind of did that here with the Troubadour, with Mesmer, and, the fact that was already baked in glamours. They did it now with this Thief, too, the Antiquary.
But hold on a second. Let's talk about the Troubadour and Bard again for a second, because you and I both know that Bard has been in the game since Path of Fire.
Right, are we about to talk about a Boots Pad build?
Yeah, and
go ahead.
So when the Deadeye came out, we talked about this for quite a while. The ability to become a Bard, playing music for your opponents while in stealth in World versus World.
I do remember that one. I do remember that, actually, yes. Did we do a whole video on that, or was that just a section of a video?
We did a video that was 2 different builds for Deadeye. And one of the builds was Bard. Yeah.
And wait, could they hear the music? They could hear the music.
Yeah, they could hear the music, but they have the ability to turn it off if they turn off player music.
Oh, still, that was pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, well, we may get a bigger Troubadour now. But going to the thief thing, the core line thing, this thing with the cards, again, I'll put a screenshot online. If you're training tricks, look, this theme, this stuff is already kind of baked into Thief.
True.
So it feels very natural, and I'm going to use that to inform my speculations in a little bit.
So now, hold on a second. So I think maybe, are we going to get utility skills that are card utility skills, but are they going to be called card tricks and count as tricks as well?
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that skill tag that they would continue with tricks. That's an interesting thought. Would that mean glamours on the Troubadour?
Maybe.
As well, maybe?
Or, I mean, or kits, you were saying.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Did you notice anything about the art on these cards, by the way?
That they're, I don't know. It's a diamonds?
Well, exactly. I thought it was the suit of diamonds, but Kerry immediately said to me, they're like initiative icons.
Yeah. So that's why I was thinking, if you do card utility skills, what if the utility skills use initiative?
Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's a cool thought. I was going to go with, I had an idea for an initiative mechanic, and that was, you don't, and my description of this, I just want to warn everyone, is going to sound horrendous, but it's all about the implementation, okay? But maybe this is, it's not a thief spec that naturally gets initiative anymore. You don't generate initiative.
Oh.
You draw initiative. You draw cards, and the number of pips on the card, and that there's a mechanic.
But how do you draw the cards?
Somehow. Well, I don't know. This is the other thing. If you look at thief specs, they've always been very light with the F skills. So maybe this will be the first time we get lots of F buttons. I know one of the early speculations, Boots, when people were saying this and it might be thief, was the idea it's like a card thrower and you use F skills to throw cards. And I immediately kind of put that down. That might be what Arenanet go with, but
that's not bad.
I don't know whether that's that great, because I think it feels very virtuoso-y.
It does. So but I was thinking utility skills, and you do throw cards as your utility skills, but they use initiative. But you need some other way to get more initiative for this spec then, if that's the case. And then that might unbalance other things.
They could do it through traits and things, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tricky. I kind of like the idea that we're drawing initiative now, and the card. What you actually, there's a bit of gambling in the actual card rolls, but that's RNG variants and stuff, which is immediately going to be off-putting to some people. So who knows? Yeah. Last question with this, Boots. What's the NPC you think might be teaching us in the ways of the Antiquary?
Well, definitely Farron as well.
You're going to say Farron and all of them. All right, here's my idea. I think this is the only one I'm confident in. The only one. I think it's Dougal Keane. I think Dougal Keane is an Antiquary. He was just listed as a generic thief, but throughout the story of Ghosts of Ascalon, he's dealing with an antique, the Claw of the Carneur. He's there with the Guild Initiative headquarters, which are hosting the Tyrian UN at the moment. I think is Dougal. He even had some dialogue and stuff in the recent expansion.
I like it. What about that other guy? The guy who was in the Order of Whispers from the other continent.
Oh, like you mean the Order of Shadows in? I don't know. Did we get named NPCs in the Order of Shadows? Maybe.
Was it the Order of Whispers? No, it was the Order of Whispers. Like in the original story.
Oh, you're talking about Dern Vasquez.
Yeah, Dern Vasquez. What about him?
Could be him, yeah. It could be him. That's a good idea. Because maybe he's from this island we're going to.
Exactly.
Might be.
And one last thing. If we're doing... So, we talked only about the cards and the icon. But they're calling it an Antiquary, which means that you've got to do something with antiquity. So, I'm thinking that all the steals... good one. Yes,
it'll be like Deadeye changing them. You've had some great ones there. You're definitely right about that.
Yeah, they're going to steal a bunch of different
relics.
Antiquities. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, 10 out of 10. Very
imagine if your steal steals the abilities that some relics give.
Oh, what? The actual relic system?
Yeah,
did you just think that because I just said relic?
Yes, I did. What if you press the button?
One.
You press the button, and for the next 10 seconds, it gives you the relic of the Demon Queen or something.
I see. So it gives you the passive.
Yeah.
I mean, my gut is to say, no, that's too difficult to balance. But on the other hand, you know, that's the magic of... People don't know this anymore, but that's the... When Thief originally came out, the original design and idea of the Thief with Gilded Steel, there was that crazy variance baked into it. That's what steel is in its heart. So yeah, kind of, I like that. I like that a lot. Man, you're on fire with those ideas. They're very good. Let's do the next one. So this is the last one, sort of semi-confirmed, that we'll get details on next week. Which I would not have guessed this was Ellie when this first came out, but this is...
I think I guessed it based on, you know, process of elimination.
Oh, really? Okay, well, that's fair. When this was one of the earlier icons. No, it was one of the later icons they showed.
Yeah.
I guess because it's got like fiery ears almost a little bit.
Yeah.
But you got kind of like that Venetian mask vibe to it and stuff. I did not know where to place this. I thought Ranger because it looked vaguely natural.
I was leaning towards Ranger for a while because of that, like, you know, they had those Chinese poem translations. And
yeah, I haven't put much stock in those.
I also didn't because they're so wild out there. Because this one was like something about coming back to nature or like... Anyway, so I was like, oh, maybe it is Ranger, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They just look like generic fluffy tags to me on most of them. I didn't really think about them too deeply. But yeah, the Evoker. And the mechanic for this, I think, is fairly settled because we saw it in the trailer. It's got some kind of a summon. It's got like a familiar elemental. It looks like almost like a doggy, wolfy, jackally thing.
I'm guessing
which
that
I guess
with
is what
you
the
whole
face is.
time.
Okay, all right. So do you think that this is Ellie getting a pet, just like
No.
Mechanist got a pet? Air quotes.
I think not in the same way. No, because I still think that your F abilities will be attunement swapping because you can't really change that. Otherwise, all of your weapons break. So I think it'll be an always out spirit that changes attunements based on your attunement. So like it'll turn into a fire fox or a water fox, etc., etc.
Are you just instantly opposed to the idea of F5, F6, F7, or whatever?
I'm not instantly opposed to it. You might be able to get an F5. That you have F5s in the past, but once you get to buttons further than what you,
I think they're bindable, aren't they? I'm not in game at the moment, but they're bindable.
I think they still got
quite a high degree.
They're bindable, but they still. I think Arenanet likes to try to not
keep it on the low side.
Yeah, tries to not like overwhelm you with having to change your keybinds for things. Yeah.
So just based on that, you don't think you're going to get a little health bar there that you can monitor? You're not going to be able to tell it to go passive or aggressive? You don't think they'll do any of that?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what do you think that they'll do? Because if we're not doing that, then do you think it will be an F5 to summon your guy, and then, or do you think it'll be like an overload? You double tap the achievement.
But that gets too close to like.
Exactly, we're doing stuff we've already done. Exactly,
Yeah.
and the double tap and the achievement's very Tempesty in a way.
Yeah.
One thing I will say. Go ahead.
No, you're right. Maybe we will get some way to like make it go around. Although in the trailer it looked very small next to the character.
Oh, I thought it was quite big in the background.
I think there was a... Oh, you think?
Well, that was my impression. You're making me doubt now. Maybe I should go back and have a look.
For me, it looked like it was floating close to the character and kind of small.
I thought it was in the back, but it did somewhere in the back of my mind. I did think that's an odd perspective for it to be back there. But I figured they were maybe just trying to get into the frame or something. Here's the one thing I think will be very cool, and it's actually Catalyst kind of informed me on this a little bit. Back when the Catalyst came out, I realized one of the implementations they could have gone with that really excited me, and that was the idea that you could drop your Jade Sphere, and you've dropped it in Fire Attunement.
Yeah.
And now when I swap to Earth, it changes the sphere to the Earth Sphere.
Right.
I like the idea it dynamically swapped attunements with you. That didn't happen with the Catalyst in the end, obviously. You just dropped separate spheres for separate attunements. But I like that idea again for this. So when I'm in Fire Attunement, my pet or whatever, my familiar, whatever we want to call it, it's fiery. But if I swap into a new attunement, he swaps too.
You know what?
Into another type.
So I did say that, and I think that that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be an always out pet, and you know what I think? I think that the utility skills, healing skill, and elite skill will interact with the pet and get it to do stuff.
So you won't have like baseline functionality. Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky world to go down, isn't it?
It is.
Air quotes for. But yeah, I mean, that might be it. That might be a way that they do it. Do you have any thoughts on like what utility category they might get? I mean, maybe just shouts, right? Or like,
yeah, maybe
because like ranger pet skills would be shouts or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit tricky. As for a character, I haven't got a clue. I was actually very surprised to see that the word Evoker, I wouldn't have been surprised to see that there's like white mantle Evokers in Guild Wars 1 or something. Evoker is very, very rarely used by this franchise. For the longest time, I've wanted an Elementalist spec kind of based around the Sorrowful Spellcaster in the Fractal, with the light and dark, Chiaroscuro kind of magic. And you do have these elemental sort of familiars all over that Fractal. So I want to say Sorrowful Spellcaster, but I don't think so, really. I got no idea who it might be. Someone on the new island.
Do we know
possibly.
any good Elementalists in the story at all?
What about Zodja, Boots? She's a genius.
Yeah, it's true.
All right.
The fox kind of seems kind of Canthan.
Right, yeah. I get that vibe.
Maybe some kind of Canthan Elementalist that we haven't met yet.
Delegate or something, yeah. Okay, there you go, guys. Those are the three that we generally already know a lot about. Here comes some more wild speculation. Well, okay, there's two more that we can kind of get pretty good. So let's do those. The first is this. What's this, Boots?
That is a Paragon.
Which is funny that everyone immediately, including me, I mean, I tweeted on day one, it's a Paragon. It's funny how we all go Paragon, Paragon, Paragon. If you actually look at the armor sets and most concept art of Paragons in the first game, they're not wearing these big helmets with wings. There's like one piece where they're doing it. But I mean, this has got to be it, right? This has got to be the Paragon. The real question, Boots, that's still a little bit up for debate.
Is it Warrior or Guardian?
What camp are you in?
Well, because of that concept art that we got, I'm leaning Warrior.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. So, it's a done deal. It's Warrior. Some people say that that's a mistake, or... Because, like, years ago, when they were introducing the Guardian instead of the Monk, they, like, had some offhanded comments about, it's inherited this and this and this. And people go to the wiki now and they read, Paragon is a part of Guardian, so they think that has to be... No. They don't look at that too definitively. I think in terms of color theme and everything,
yeah, and
it's
also
gotta be Warrior. And
also just because Warrior is missing sort of a more supporty spec.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. So I feel like Guild Wars 2's combat system has a lot of failings in some way that Guild Wars 1's didn't. Paragon was such a weird thing. Heavy armor, backline support. How many of these like specific ideas and niches really translate into the sequel? I don't know. How much they were even really worthwhile and working out in the first game, I don't know. But I love Paragon. I had a Paragon before, so I've got my eye closely on this. And as we alluded to at the start of this video, guys, obviously you got the spear now. So you're not going to be spear and shield, which the Guild Wars 1 Paragon was. But you are going to be able to take last year's spear.
No, maybe they'll make it so that you can. Maybe they'll be like, hey, you could single hand a shield, but a spear, but you get half its stats. And
okay, look, I would agree with you, Boots, that sort of thing is on the table.
Then you get the runes, or not the runes, the sigils, which is an issue also.
Well, look, I want to see them do interesting stuff like that, and I would agree with you that that's in theory on the table. But in this specific case,
it's probably not.
There's so much in Paragon already. Like, they've got chants, they've got anthems, they've got echoes. There's lots of like juicy things that Arenanet can pick at and like draw into mechanics that I feel like they're gonna nestle out any weird experimentation with the weapon manipulation, probably.
Yeah.
For this time.
But one issue though, I would say, is for spear. Oh, I guess you do throw your spear as a warrior.
Yeah, it works really well. Warrior spear does work really well for a Paragon thing.
All right.
Well, the question is, what do they do with adrenaline? I have absolutely no thought except to say I can imagine
secondary burst.
It's secondary burst style thing, but I think you cast an anthem when you use it. I think you float, you get the wings, and it's an anthem. You're spending adrenaline on anthems or something like that.
Yeah, so I was thinking the exact same thing. Basically, warrior is always pretty simple. You'll retain your F1, which is your normal burst, but you get an F2 that is a burst depending on your weapon set that is more supportive.
Yeah. That's a good idea. And the other, I'll make one very precise prediction here, Boots. Very precise. I think somewhere in it, whether it's a utility skill or a trait or what, I think we'll have something called an Echo that functions as one of those little like boon extension abilities. You know, like when you press Warhorn for Earth on an Ellie, right? And it bounce. I reckon they'll get some. I reckon somewhere in there there'll be that, and that'll be like your Echo. They'll be making the boons linger a little bit longer.
Yeah, I like it.
So we'll move on, I guess. I have to say this is a weird one. We used to have so many speculations about who would get what boon and who would get what niche and what role, but so many of them are already filled in.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the issues about elite specs going forward when they stopped doing them, because they were like, look, we basically filled all the necessary roles now, so we could stop doing elite specs for a little while and do something else.
Yeah, I've said this to my channel so many times recently. I'm a believer in them making new niches. Push, remove more sources of vulnerability so that it can be the domain of an elite spec, so that there's so many boons and so many conditions and interesting things that could be relevant and be something that an elite spec is well known for. They just have to create those niches. But that has like a knock-on effect for matchmaking and party compositions and stuff, and I don't know whether they have the guts to be so experimental anymore. So we'll see. Anyway, and here comes the next one, guys. This is the last really easily predictable one, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think, Boots, this might be?
I agree. This looks like a sacrificial or ritualist dagger.
Yeah, so we know as well from the concept art that the Ritualist is there. We also therefore know it's Necromancer.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, like, if we're talking Guild Wars 1 Ritualist, they didn't really have... They weren't, like, associated with daggers. They weren't associated with, like, sacrificing.
You're immediately on a conversation I wanted to have here, which is, I'm not going to be very happy, Boots, if they take the name Ritualist and the vibe Ritualist. They're selling that Guild Wars 1 nostalgia, but it actually has nothing to do with it except the name. I think that's going to be really lame.
I think it's not going to be nothing to do with it. I think it's going to be similar in that it's going to summon spirits. Which is really just all the Ritualist did. But
it had the urns, and it had the weapon skills, and it had lightning.
Sure.
And it had restoration.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fine. I think they'll probably shoehorn. They'll probably each spirit will cover a swath of those different things. So there'll be like a restorative spirit of this spirit of that spirit. But I think that they also are at the same time trying to do something with the Necromancer that I think both of us have wanted them to do for an elite spec, which is create a Necromancer spec in which they lean heavily into sacrificing their own life for things.
Right, yeah. So when EOD came out, the last round, we had the Urn of St. Victor over on Revenant. And it did have that health degen element to it, right? And I've been wondering if they'll look back at that tech and say, okay, we're going to integrate that more into this.
Yeah, and didn't the swords do something like that too? Or I think one of the weapons did health sacrifice.
I can't remember fully, but I think it was something like... I think you're talking about Necro, right?
Yeah, Necro.
Yeah, Secrets of the Obscure Necro stuff.
Yeah.
Had quite a good amount of that.
But yeah, I think that's what this will be. I think they're going to turn the Necro into a Ritualist, summon spirits, and sacrifice their health to do so.
So I want to talk about Shroud a little bit and Life Force here.
Right.
See, my gut is, okay, maybe we spend Life Force on summoning. So this is a Necro without Shroud. And that sounds appetizing at a glance, but then it's also like, I realize I'm describing Scourge when I say that.
You're describing Scourge, yeah.
And so I don't know whether I really believe that what they do. I rather see.
I mean, I guess the difference is Scourge doesn't have it's not a second health bar for theirs. They turn it into barrier instead.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people want out of Ritualists when they think of the spirit spams playstyle, spirit summoning, they think of that second word. That second word there is really instructive. Spam. People like lots of ghosts, lots of spirits running around. That was the Guild Wars 1 experience.
So do you think another spirit thing that we have is the Revenant with Kala, and that's not what we...
Renegade, yeah.
Yeah, Renegade. When it first came out, we were like, oh, this is kind of like Ritualist, but not exactly. Do you think that they're going to make the spirits, the utility skills, you either spend life or life force whenever you cast them, but... you make them spammable, like maybe they're ammo skills.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Karla's a brilliant thing to talk about as well, because I don't think Karla gameplay is very compelling or interesting.
No.
Even in the best formats, where lots of stuff is relevant, like PvP and World versus World, they're kind of just dump a bunch of them and then they'll go away when you legend swap or something. There's something about it that's not very appetizing, and so I wonder if Ritualist ends up feeling a lot like that, whether I'm really going to get a huge kick out of it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it would be nice if it was spammable. I think it would be nice if it was ammo skills, and then you would like trade off. They would be very. You would have to pay life or life force to get them, so it would be hard to spam in that way.
I want to propose one totally different wild thing here, Boots.
Okay.
Right, for this class. So if it's not the spam thing, right? One thing they might do, the real thing going on with Ritualist, right, is we're communing with great past heroes by holding their urn, their ashes or whatever. By the way, having weapon skills and stuff back would be kind of cool. So what if, you know how the Mechanist got a pet? It was basically just a cross-pollination, or the Spectre got Shroud, okay?
Yeah.
What if Necro gets Legends? It's more like a legend thing. And when we think about our summoning our spirit, you know, there's a Revenant legend swaps, you get the big spiritual thing over you, like the graphic for a little while. You'll see Jarlis massive in the sky or whatever. What if it was like a more permanent thing of that? And think about the concept art, right? It's a Ritualist standing low down with a big like ghost over their shoulders.
Would you be
maybe it's
okay
something
with them
like that.
calling it Ritualist in that case?
Well, exactly. That's the back and forth there. But at the end of the day, it's not Guild Wars 1, guys. It's a different game. It's never going to be a one-for-one recreation.
Yeah. And maybe it's just not going to be a Ritualist. Even though it's an Asura with their eyes covered, maybe it's not going to be a Ritualist. Maybe they're going to call it Troubadour 2 or something.
Oh, that's true. It's not actually confirmed. It's called... That's true. Okay, all right. And then one final one. Sorry, I can't help myself. One final thing. Boots, it's not a Ritualist.
Okay.
It's because if it was a Ritualist, it would have the Ritualist icon, and it doesn't have the Ritualist icon.
That,
my friend, look at that. What do we see? We don't just see a blade, we see a bent blade. You've seen the Spellbreaker. Now, the Swordbreaker. That's what this is. This is actually the Swordbreaker.
Oh.
And it's like
even though it's a dagger.
It was a sword, now it's crumpled up and it looks like a dagger, but that's deceiving, you know. That's like MMOs make daggers bigger than they really are, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what it is. It's like the blade turner or whatever. And that won't confuse new players that we have spellbreakers and blade swans and blade turners.
I dislike this idea.
But I have to say, before the Ritualist icon reveal, so to speak, concept art, that was actually something I was thinking of.
Really?
Well, it's a broken blade.
Dagger,
it's a broken blade.
It's not a broken blade. It's designed this way. It's clearly designed this way. Someone forged this blade to look like this.
Yeah, ritualistically.
Yeah, exactly. When you look up ritual dagger or like sacrificial dagger on Google, you'll see blades like this.
Okay, also for NPC, I mean, there are kind of ritualists that we met in End of Dragons.
Yeah.
Notably, the speakers in the Echovowed Forest, they were all basically ritualists or follows on from ritualists. So maybe the leader, maybe Tetra Earthcool. She was kind of a villain. I don't know. All right, next. Yeah. Okay. Now we're out in the depths here, Boots.
Sure.
We're in true elite speculation mode here.
Yeah, there's four more. There's four more that we do not know what they're called or who they're assigned to. Yeah.
By the way, was there a leak of the icons in the correct colors?
I don't know.
I think that might have happened. I don't know anything about it, by the way. So if that did happen and people are watching this,
let us know.
You know, I don't know. So basically, I haven't got a clue. I've started with this, Boots, because this is the hardest one for me. My guess is engineer.
Yeah.
My guess is it's like a metallurgist or something.
I agree.
You know, the expansion has a big inquest theme, and I think that fits quite well. When I look at that, it's kind of like an atom, right? Electrons surrounding.
Yeah, it's the only
central core.
Remaining icon that could be interpreted as somewhat mechanical.
Yeah.
Somewhat mechanical.
So it could be like a particle physics. Lilted theme for
possibly. However, more likely, I mean, even if we don't want to give too much credence to the Chinese translation things, for this one, it talked about like liquid silver and stuff like that.
Oh, like Quicksilver, sort of like Juggernaut-y.
Yeah, so I think it might be like a metal bender.
Yeah, okay. So like maybe Metallurgist or something? That was one of the names
like Metallurgist or... what did I write down? I wrote down...
I've got Atomist on there as well, which I think is pretty terrible.
I did not write down a name, but I wrote Mercury/Liquimetal. I think it's gonna be an engineer. I can see that. The Spenny stuff kind of feels a bit scrappery to me, a bit gyros and stuff, which is still on the same class. Yeah.
But maybe that doesn't really matter very much. The other thing, obviously, is like nanites. You know, we don't know what the story is of the new expansion, but when you look at, say, the End of Dragons stuff, like Catalyst, you couldn't really do any speculation about it because Jade technology and Jade bots and Jade, all that stuff wasn't really in the world building yet, hadn't really been introduced. So if the Inquest are doing something big and new, they're on some kind of technological precipice, and this is an aspect of that.
I don't think it's nanobots. I think that may be a little advanced for the world of Tyria at this point.
I wouldn't put it past Tyria at this point. I don't think the setting is. But so then that leads me to NPC Kuda, maybe Kudu's daughter.
Oh yeah,
obviously, might be a part of the story. Could be a thing that they end up doing, or maybe we'll be looking at Goric and Timey and stuff.
Yeah, I guess the question is, is it going to be like a blend of magic and engineering to create this liquid metal, or is it just really advanced technology?
Yeah, the magical side of it could be an easy sort of in to give it something clear. It's just I think Hollowsmith is like one of the best elite specs of all time, by the way. Gameplay, balance, theme, everything. But talking just about theme, I really like that as an idea for the engineer. Looking at a specific branch of technology or magitech and kind of pushing it really hard. And so if they do that here with whatever it's going to be. So yeah, I'm thinking engineer.
What are you thinking about how any kind of gameplay mechanics for this?
Oh, I haven't got a clue. No idea. Literally none.
The only thing I could think of, and it's not because it has anything to do with, the icon or what we're thinking of it could be. It's just because I was thinking what you could do with engineer is maybe it modifies all the tool belt skills in some way.
Oh yeah. So what? But it's so much, Boots.
Like a new skill for each tool belt skill.
Every tool belt skill changes into another thing.
Yeah.
And they're all inspired. They're not just number tweaks with a new icon.
Yeah, they're all something to do with what this is supposed to be doing.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. This is a tough one. Give us your comments on this one, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think they'll do with mechanics?
I think it would have to be like an added bonus to each. Like they can't completely redesign each tool belt skill. That'd be crazy.
With the idea of like, I wonder if they'll do something that's more turret based, sort of armament, placed things down sort of stuff again. Maybe. All right, next one. This one I think is pretty tough. They're all pretty tough from here on out.
When I first looked at this, it looked like a shield. But but a fancy.
But we have a shield later.
Exactly, so we didn't get that yet though at the time.
Yeah.
Considering all the other ones that we've gone through and what's left, I've settled on Revenant for this one.
Me too. I've settled on Rev, and Rev is like the community choice, I would say as well. Most people are really interested in Rev. Yeah. I've seen some ridiculous I'm not going to say ridiculous. I've seen some justifications that this is Rev because it's 4 swords.
Oh.
And it's going to be a dervish.
Oh.
And if you read the real world,
this doesn't look like dervish to me.
If you no, it doesn't to me either. But you read like real world descriptions of dervish, it talks about the 4 swords of the winds or something. I don't think it's any of that, guys. I think if there was a dervish here as well, it would have been grandfathered into the concept art featuring the Paragon, featuring the Ritualist. Yeah. And I kind of think, I mean, they obviously haven't used the old icons for these, so whatever. I don't think it's a dervish, guys. You mentioned it looked like a shield. Did you think it looked like anything else, Boots?
I didn't. However, I was told by people on the Lightbringers that it looks... Number one, it looks like a claw holding something up. And number two, someone said I think Jebro said it looks like a ship, like a pirate ship.
Oh, pirate ship. I hadn't really seen that. I
Yeah.
kind of get it now. The long bits of the sails.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see it looking like a pirate ship at all. However, the Chinese...
theme of the X-Back.
Exactly, and also the Chinese translation of this one is like, with great will you slash through the winds and something chase the shadows, disturbing the waters.
Oh, wow. The boat thing is completely out of left field for me.
I know.
Maybe? You still haven't said what I thought it was.
Okay, what would you think?
As far as an object's concerned. Well, it was close. The claw holding something up. I just thought it was like a fist weapon. Like, there's 4 digits. That's the 4 fingers.
So
they're like blades. Monk? I was thinking, yeah, like an unarmed, fist fighting combatant.
Interesting.
And originally I was thinking that could be warrior, but that was early on. Now warrior's already been taken. But that was what I originally saw. But for Rev instead. But for Rev then. So like a fist fighting sort of punchy Rev.
Yeah, I do like that actually.
The question is, what legend would embody that fighting style? And I haven't really got far enough to thinking of that.
I don't know. So if we're the main thing for Revenant, obviously, is always the legend. It's not like the gameplay. It's
until we get a legendless. I mean, we had 2 legends last time, right?
True.
See, here's another fun idea. There's 4 things there. It's 4 legends. Whoa! But no. It's not going to be that. It's going to. We have to find a legend and.
Yeah. So I've written down some ideas for what maybe this kind of looks like it could be legend-wise. Number 1 is it might be some kind of Char legend just because of the claw, or some kind of Mersat legend because this kind of looks a little, Mersat-y.
A little bit, yeah. I definitely don't think it'll be Char because we've already.
Yeah, we already.
Is that wrong? Is that wrong of me because we had Carla?
I mean,
should they be off the table?
They shouldn't be off the table, I don't think.
No.
Another idea.
Can I just say as well? By the way,
oh yeah.
In the context of the total storytelling right now, it's all about the mists. It's all about mist incursions, entities out in the mists. Mm-hmm. We've seen amazing dialogue updates with Malix as time's gone on. Arenanet have such a big opportunity when it comes to the Rev Elite spec.
Yeah.
So whatever they pick, I hope they don't whiff it.
Maybe a Titan legend?
A Titan legend? That would be pretty... I mean, we would all look at that and say, damn, that should have come in Janthir Wilds.
Yeah.
But if it's the sailing thing, you've got a lot of good characters. You could, or any of the Corsair characters. You could pick Saida or whatever.
Yeah, the ghost, the Captain Wayant from the Sharkpaw Caverns.
Oh, that would be very sweet. But if that was the case, the icon should definitely be like a shark head, and it should have lots more like.
It does have pointy teeth.
Oh, come on! There's not a shark in that. There's not a shark there.
It kind of looks like the fall from the top of the maw there, and then you land on the spikes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what kind of legend this could be. Vlast? No, but you already have Glint. You wouldn't have Vlast as well.
Yeah, what's funny is if we're wrong about this, there's going to be a whole other icon that has worthwhile legend speculation, and we're just going to miss it.
Oh, completely. True. Okay, so there's only two more. There's only 2 more icons right after this. So
yeah, we'll just have a think about it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
All right, so here we go. Speaking of, let's move on to the next one. Here we go. The bow.
Yeah, this one excites me the least.
Really, I think this is the best made icon. I think the design, just talking purely aesthetics.
Okay,
it's really good, don't you think?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm not thinking aesthetics. I'm thinking what it could mean.
Right. I think that there's a mistake that we're possibly all falling into. I think we're all going to look at this and we're all going to say Ranger. And I just want to point out, Ranger is not inexorably tied to bows in Guild Wars. There could be any number of people with a bow.
Sure.
That this is... And by the way, even just doing these icons as weapons is really weird. Like when you think about the dagger, the blade breaker or whatever, it's like the weapons aren't a part of the specs anymore, so it's so weird to see weapons.
So many weapon icons, yeah.
And especially with that dagger one, if that is the Ritualist, it's like dagger is a core thing for Necro. It's a core weapon, so it's even weirder for them. But anyway, so there's a trap here where everyone's saying Ranger, but I'm going to fall into the trap. I don't know about you, Boots.
I am falling into the trap because I have a really good name for the other one.
Oh, okay. Well. Before we get to that, what do you think of this then? So you think it's for the Ranger?
Yeah. I wanted to say Cupid, but no. I think it's going to be.
There would be a heart on it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be all about like I don't know, man. Quick drawing, like playing into the quick draw idea of a ranger, like being fast, swift, doing things cool in the air.
Which all describes short bow as we already have it, right? So it feels like a nothing burger. But I'm with you. I think all the same things. I think that is what it evokes. And
now the question is,
like.
Are the fact that it's wings just talking about like fleetness, or is it gonna be more like an avatar or a messenger of Dwayna kind of situation?
Oh, in terms of story, I mean, maybe. I thought you were going to say, is it instead of fleetness, does it mean we're going to be flying? There'll be a lot of airborne stuff. I mean, not literally flying, but lots of just, high up sort of animations and jumping high and stuff like that.
I wonder.
Which isn't something I'd ever thought about.
I mean, that's not a bad idea actually for Ranger, because Ranger, with your bow and stuff, your projectiles can get clipped into the ground or into different...
It's kind of a fun thought, yeah. It is, and there's that scouting element to it. I'll say again, this idea that they've looked at core lines and sort of enhanced them, Soul Reaper, you get the Reaper. This is kind of Marksman Plus. Yeah, that's what this screams to me. Which maybe isn't that captivating to a lot of people. But I think in terms of like lapsed players, outside players, a lot of people do like that fantasy.
Yeah.
A lot of people picked the Ranger as a class because they really cared about the bow aesthetic.
And Rangers, I think, were some Rangers were a little bit upset when Thief got Deadeye, and Deadeye was like kind of what they wanted to be as a Ranger.
Right. So yeah, and I can imagine one of the 3 like trait lines is kind of focused on that big distant hit kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And would fill that in for them. So I have a few names that I come to mind here. Hunter is one of them, which is an odd one because it's very World of Warcraft, and Guild Wars always turned its back to World of Warcraft and thrived by doing that. So I don't know whether they'd be that on the nose. But you got like Skirmisher, Trailblazer, Wayfarer. Obviously, we are the Wayfinder now.
True.
So it would be kind of funny. I don't know. I think the fact we're the Wayfinder sort of kills the likelihood of that one.
Yeah. I think the name. Itself, I like the name Bobo McBowface.
That's brilliant. Boots. So then mechanic. Now my dream. I know we're going back. It's been a few months since we did an episode of this. But what I've always said on Elite Speculation, what I've wanted is the reverse Soul Beast. I want to become the pet. That's my dream. That's my dream for the Ranger. Yes, it's clearly not that. I'm so disappointed. My disappointment is immeasurable. Yeah. We're not becoming the pet. And after that, I don't know what to say. I got nothing. I'm on empty.
I also don't know about this one. The only thing I wrote down for this was all projectiles are super fast ?
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that. I don't know. I would say fanning out projectiles, multi-hits, blah blah. It's all there on Ranger already. It's all there.
Oh, actually, yeah. What if
it's big on ricochets?
Yeah. What if it's big on ricochets? What if...
Or it's like Yondu. It's like Yondu.
A lot of unblockable stuff. Like you add unblockable to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. This is I feel pretty confident that this is going to be Ranger.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm not. Maybe this is too anodyne on Ranger. Maybe it's when it's on other classes this now becomes interesting. Maybe we've got this flipped.
Yeah, maybe this is Guardian but
then you're Dragon Hunter. You're too close to Dragon Hunter if this is Guardian. So I don't think it can be that.
Unless your virtues become bow kits.
Oh God. Well, okay. On that note, last one, guys. This is number 9. Neither Boots. We've guessed basically the same the whole way down the line.
I think so. Yeah.
It's because we're both geniuses. No arguments. Well, there's been, and we're both going to be totally wrong. So this last one here, this is, so we alluded to it a minute ago. This is a shield.
Yeah, I got a name.
I want to note, Boots, that the top shape of the shield is very reminiscent of like a castle.
Yes, that's why I've got a great name for this.
Okay, give it to me.
And as soon as I say the name, look it up on Google.
Okay.
The name is Bastion.
I've got Bastion. That's the first one I've got written. I think Bastion's a really good name. I think it's represented in that icon there.
Yeah. First of all, Bastion is like a fortification. Like they're literal things in the world that they're there. They're wall fortification cities, whatever. And then Bastion of Virtue is like the other thing you think of when you think of Bastion. And
oh, is it? I hadn't really thought of that.
You didn't think of that?
I'll take your word for that. No. What's that from?
They're a bastion of virtue. It's like it's a saying. It's a thing.
Oh, okay. Then you've nailed it. Then
Yeah,
I think definitely. I hadn't really heard that saying. I was thinking bastion already with it. The thing with me, Boots, is the combat in PvE for Guild Wars 2 is very thin. There's only so many dimensions that really matter. But I always remember the very early days, before Guild Wars 2 was even really out, they were showcasing what each class could do and, how they manipulated the battlefield. And there was this sense of a great amount of movement and control and stuff. And when they talked about the Guardian, they had all these great moments of, like, the Guardian dropping their line of warding and then hordes of enemies couldn't get through it, or using the shield to knock people away and create bubbles and defend areas, all that stuff. And I feel like a lot of that gameplay hasn't really hit for me for years and years and years, especially in PvE. Having an elite spec that's Arenanet saying, we're going to take another crack at this idea. This was supposed to be a big part of the Guardian's identity or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about how that actually translates into the buttons we press. What do you think, though? What?
I have no idea. What I wrote for this was be even more Guardian-y. So
I mean, yeah.
I mean, if that's what you are, if you're a bastion of virtues, then your whole class originally revolves around your virtues, basically. So yeah, you're a bastion of what you're already doing. You're going to be more Guardian-y.
So maybe it's like a virtues plus sort of idea. Well, look, here's what I think. Guardian design for elite specs, because of the way virtues work, a lot of the trait interactions and stuff work, we kind of have to, I might be wrong, but I feel like it's very good odds that we're going to have an F1, F2, F3 just like normal, and because there's so many trait interactions and stuff all over the place. The tack that they took with the Willbender was they said, okay, we'll take these and we'll give them all a unifying thing, movement, right? There's movement baked into all of those. So I wonder if there will be like area control, like bubbles and walls and stuff like
I definitely think so, because you want to
on
know
all
the
three F's.
You want to hear the Chinese translation for this one?
Oh yeah, go on.
Molten light forges the wall.
Oh my god, really? Is that what it says?
Radiant armor stands eternal.
Wow. See, the icon I'd expect a bit more glowy or whatever there. So it's kind of almost like where Hollow meets Guardian in a way, as far as theme's concerned.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm thinking lots of walls and bubbles, and maybe a look at some of that.
I think so too. I think that's exactly right.
As for a character, maybe like a dwarven character. I don't know. Or some stone stable dwarf. I don't know. I mean, I didn't guess with I didn't guess with the other two, by the way. The dervish.
Yeah, what about for this one though? How about Logan? It could be Logan.
Oh, sorry. It could be Logan.
Because the first time you meet him is he's holding up that bubble for you in the yeah. There you go.
And that reminds me of years ago where he got injured by Morgemoth and we all thought he was going to become like a plague doctor, and then and then we got the Firebrand layer. The Winged Arrow NPC I had, guys, was maybe Gerta White Bear. Because she's this adventuring character that's off in the distance. I could imagine her coming back, having like this huntery side to her. Maybe, I don't know, sort of a modern heir, if you will. Yeah. Oh, it could be rocks too.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's all I got on the shield as well, by the way. I really don't have many more thoughts on that. But I think Bastion is very good.
Yeah.
Some of the other names, maybe Defender, Bulwark, Titan, Juggernaut, they're all sort of in the ballpark. But that thing that looks like a fortress on the top of the shield, I think that puts Bastion way ahead.
I think so too. Because, I mean, it's designed to look like Bastion cities look like, I think.
And if we're wrong about the class allocation, then, maybe this gets a bit more interesting. Virtues come to another class, just like Shroud came to Spectre. Virtues come to another class, and they're the Bastion of Virtue. And meanwhile, the bow goes on someone else. So there might be some intrigue there.
Yeah.
But there you have it.
I'm pretty confident in what we got, actually.
Me too. All right, so guys, next week we'll have these 3 get announced. I'll cover it as it goes. Maybe once all 9 are out, we can do another bit of a conversation and see how we did, a bit of a retrospective, Boots. That might be fun.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the channel, guys. I'll keep you in the loop. Boots, it's been great to have you again.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Watching very close. We'll both be in the comments, having a read, seeing what you guys think. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. It's great to have Elite Specs back.
Me too.
And it's good, isn't it, Boots? Because, yeah, we're not going to get them every mini-X pack.
No.
But this opens the door to another 9 one day, you know?
Yeah, and
It'll be cool.
you know what? It's like maybe not everybody gets content from them, but I feel like for me it's a huge part of the game because you could use them in all parts of the game that are there. You know, like you could go back and do old stuff with these new elite specs, and everything's fresh and new.
Yeah, and you're not alone in that. I think a lot of people get a lot of value out of these. So we'll see how they go. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Thanks for coming on the show, Boots, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.